So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and just open up training mode. You're gonna pick Chipp. You can choose whoever you want as your combo dummy. Just pick somebody. And we're gonna go through some guided training mode time as we've been doing. And it's gonna be, most of it is gonna be review, and we'll have a little bit of new stuff. But hopefully the new stuff is, will be building off of the old stuff. So if you've been consistent with your training, then you should notice, hey, some of what we're doing is the same thing, just in a different context, right? So I want you to go ahead and open up training mode and pick Chipp and whoever you want, and just tell me when you're ready. And when we get a couple folks who are ready in chat, then we'll go ahead and do it. And if we don't get a couple folks who are ready in chat, then I'll just sit here. Oh, Railman already out there. I'll just sit here and wait. I can wait for a long time. I mean, you're the one watching this stream, you know what I mean? All right, Pyramid Plaza, that's what's up. Just get Chipp, start moving around. You can practice that. We can start with just the neutral jump. I ain't eaten dinner yet. I eat dinner after stream. So you're gonna run, tap up to jump, so you get a running neutral jump, just like that. I had someone show up in my YouTube comments today and be like, man, I can't do this. I'm gonna have an aneurysm. And I was like, well, shit, man, that sucks. All right, we got Daphonics in here. Definitely don't get an aneurysm. Pyramid, why don't you save the match-related stuff until a little bit later? I want to focus on the drills right now. I want to get everyone's hands nice and warm. And y'all, please don't have an aneurysm. I'm about to have an aneurysm over these YouTube comments. Soul Strain, all right. Wait till after the training mode session, Pyramid. Sometimes, once we get going, then maybe it's okay to ask some questions. But let's start out slow, right? All right, Danny the Balu in there. All right, so I want you to start just doing run and then tap up. This is a really important movement for Chipp's faultless defense cancel stuff. And if you mess this up, you're probably gonna forward jump, which is not the worst, but it kind of messes up your mix-up opportunities. And those mix-up opportunities are important. What up, Graffiti? So you want to just get used to this. This is not an input that you want to mess up, right? You might have to do this 4 or 5 times over the course of a single round or a match or whatever. And if you mess up just one, that could be Chipp exploding and dying, right? No pressure. So you got to get good with your execution, right? Just 6-6-8, 6-6-8, over and over. If you're getting a forward jump, then you're probably doing it too fast, right? You got to return to neutral. All right. You find it hard from the 2P side. Yeah, that's pretty common, especially if you're playing on a stick, because you have to use, you can look at my hands. You have to use different fingers to move this stuff, right? If I'm on the 2-player side, I like to use my thumb and just tap, right? And then you have to figure out which part of your hand to use for the 8, right? The 8 is probably going to be the hard part for you. I like to use the inside of my palm right here, right? Like right at the base of the finger. So I'm pushing up. I'm just like that, right? And the reason I do it here, I do it with this part of my hand, is because look at where my hand is. When I'm doing a motion like this, I don't have to move my hand, right? I could rotate my hand, and try and use my more of my thumb. Sometimes I'll actually pinch my thumb against the side of my hand to just make sure I get it. But the thing is that if I push from here, when in my resting position, this may not be the case for yours, but in my resting position, this pretty cleanly gives me an 8, so I don't have to worry too much about it, right? Just like that. Ooh, just not like that. Don't do that. There we go. Yeah, if you're a pad player, then you're gonna have to be extra careful, right? Depending on the pad you've got. But you know, if you're on a keyboard, just look like this. Ooh. Keyboard's actually a good example of how you have the timing, right? You can hear the buttons. If I do it too fast, then I get that. Okay, so now you're gonna add faultless defense canceling. So remember, Chipp can cancel his J2K into faultless defense. In order to do that, you're gonna jump, you're gonna hold down back, and then when you get to the top of your jump, the neutral jump you were just doing, you're gonna keep holding down back, and you're gonna piano your fingers kick to slash, and you're gonna hold kick and slash. Well, you're not gonna hold them for that long. You're just gonna hold them enough to get FD. There we go. I know some people who use the analog stick on a pad. It's pretty weird though. I wouldn't recommend it. Whatever works for you, but not the best, right? Just get used to faultless defense canceling off the running neutral jump. Ooh. Sometimes you'll mess it up. That's okay. Just go back and forth. Try and get those motions nice and clean. Doesn't matter if you can't do them cleanly yet. You'll get there. I practice this shit a lot and I still mess it up. Remember, you want to try and tap it at the top of your jump. You want to give your opponent as little time to react to the momentum kill as possible, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our B&B that we've been doing, right? It's 5K, close S, 2D. That's the goal, Tasty John. Just like that. And then after the 2D, what up, One Bin? We're going to go ahead and do our running neutral jump into the faultless defense to kill the momentum. We're going to drop right on top of him with a JH, and then we'll do 5K and 2D again. Just like this. Oop, not like that. There we go. When you get in the corner, you throw them out. Just take them side to side. And mess up sometimes, it's all right. That's why we're here. That's why we're practicing. Video games, well, fighting games are not easy. Guilty Gear, especially not easy. You're gonna mess stuff up. The goal is to mess up less than your opponent. You get to the other side. You can throw them out of the corner. You can do the little warpy thing. Just keep on doing it. Woo. Oh no, I messed up. It's okay. 2D, 5K, or 2D, faultless defense, cancel, JH, 5K, 2D. I think you'll probably find it natural to use an analog stick if you grew up with video game consoles that had 3D. Ushiro, that's awesome. Good job, man. In general, though, what up, Aaron? In general, I actually don't recommend practicing the same thing for 3 hours. In my experience, your ability to make useful gains on something tops out often at like 20 or 30 minutes, if that. And even then, I like to break it up. But it takes a little while, at least early on, with something like jump install, it can take a little while just to figure out like when you're supposed to do shit. Just take them coast to coast. Keep on doing the FDC OP. And then when you're ready, just do the version where you don't faultless defense cancel. Just like this. Cross up, 5K 2D, faultless defense cancel, cross up, 5K 2D. Just mix back and forth between the two, however you want. This shit is annoying as hell to block. All right. And for the last bit on this warm-up part, or on this particular part of the warm-up, you can do your B&B, but instead of going into the Oki, we'll be in the corner. And so you're going to get an easy corner extension, right? You know, boom, and then after the 2D, you're going to do 236S, 623H. After the Shinkiro, the 623H, you're going to wait until it's over, and then you're going to link JD into 236P, hold P to wall cling, and then press P again to do the alpha off the wall. Oop, looks like this. And once you do it, you can H teleport, cross up Slayer, get his back to the corner. Just do that a couple times. This isn't Chipp's best corner combo. That's okay. You don't need his best corner combo. He's got a bunch of different corner combos for different situations and different matchups. This one's nice because it does pretty good damage, and it's not too hard. delay the JS a little bit after the teleport to make it a little bit harder to block. But sometimes you won't actually know which side to land on. It's funny. It's the best cross-ups. The best cross-ups are the ones where you're surprised. If you don't know which side you're going to hit on, how can your opponent? You get one more rep in on this side. It's always good to change sides. We'll make sure. Oh, we killed Slayer. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. All right, we'll push. Get Slayer to the other side now. Once he's in the corner, same thing. Just keep on pressing those buttons. Keep on thinking about buttons. Listen to the sound that your hands are making. The sound of the buttons is incredibly important. Actually, one of the things I really like getting people to do if they're practicing a new combo or something for the first time is to get them to turn all the game sound off so that the only thing you can hear is the sound of your buttons. Doesn't matter if you're playing on a stick, a pad, keyboard, hitbox, whatever. You want to hear the sound of all your inputs. If you plan on going to tournaments, sometimes you will be playing on setups that don't have sound or that don't have sound that you can hear, right? Not all tournaments can afford to have headsets set up and you know, the headphone jack splitters and all that stuff. And the only way you're going to be able to hit your combos is by listening to the sounds that your hands are making. Even when I play on setups where you can hear the game, I'm still often listening to the sound that my hands are making to get those combos, right? You're playing a song on your opponent's face. It feels good. All right. We're gonna move on to the next combo thing, which is just jump installs, right? We've been doing that for a little bit. If you're new to it, it's real simple, right? All you gotta do, the basic concept is that when you do a move that puts you in the air, sometimes Guilty Gear won't give you the your air options afterwards. It is one bin. It takes a little time to get used to. Don't worry about it. So you can do a thing called a jump install, right? And the easiest way to show it off is if I do 22H, I can't air dash afterwards. But if I do 228H, what I'm doing is I'm canceling the startup of my super jump into my teleport, and that lets me keep my air dash because that's what I can do out of the super jump. You can just try that first, get used to it. Shagra, if you want to pick up a stick, I highly recommend making sure you can spend at least $100 on it, or get a good one that's on sale. That's right, Daft Phonics. So that's jump install, but we want to do jump install in combos. So what we're going to do is just a basic jump install combo that does a shit ton of damage. It's going to Enox, I think it's easier for showing the concept of jump install. And in this case, like, if you mess it up, it's kind of not as big a deal. In any case, what we're going to do is close S, up, down, H, and then down H again. So close S, 8, 2H, 2H. It's going to look like that. Again, listen to the sound that my buttons and my stick are making. If I don't hit buttons, except for, well, it's going to sound like this, right? The jump install itself sounds like this. Right? Now, we don't want the jump there, so we need to cancel it, and that's what the 2H is for. Get used to it. If you do it right, you should be able to air dash afterwards. So just do that just to see if you did it right. So now what we're gonna do is after the 2H into the 2-2 or into the teleport, right? When we follow up, after the teleport, you're gonna hit punch and slash, jump cancel slash again, then hard slash into 623S, right? Just like that. Easy. If you don't want to do, if you don't want to cross them up, if you don't want to switch sides, you can use the S teleport instead. and switch sides whenever you want. Now, you don't actually want to do Beta Blade all the time. You'll get slightly better advantage if you just end on hard slash, so that's fine too. So go ahead and just keep on doing that jump install combo. If you need some help, feel free to ask questions, but it's okay if you don't get it. You'll get it next time, or maybe you'll get it the time after that. Woo. This combo is nice because if you hit, let's say you hit the Faultless defense cancel mix up, right? Oop. If you can, if you can get this combo instead, right? Because you don't get that much damage just doing this over and over and over, right? But if you can get this combo, you get a lot more damage, and that's a pretty big deal. So yeah, try it out. We'll do it 2 or 3 more times. Last one. Can you wake up air grab Chipp out of the Oki? If he mistimes it, then yeah. If he does it right, it's meaty, and you just get hit. All right, go ahead and just take a break real quick, shake it off. My neck gets kind of tense sometimes. All right, so we did our BMB into Oki, we did our jump install. Now we're gonna go for the run up throw and gamma blade practice that we were doing before. So set block settings to everything. Block switching is enabled. Normal block is fine, and set their stance to standing. And all we're gonna do is run up, and we're gonna throw, but we're gonna throw with slash and hard slash. I have a button bound to it. I can use it for blitz or FD. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna run up at them. When you get close to range, you're actually gonna let go and go back to neutral real quick, right? Because you can't throw straight out of a run. So you have to stop by going to neutral and then immediately cancel the stop into the throw input. And no problem, Roth. Tasty John, a jump install is a normal jump. Well, it's a jump that is canceled before you actually get the jump so that you can keep the air options. You are installing your air options from the jump cancel into whatever you do later. That's why it's called a jump install. Also because it just sounds cool. Anyway, you're gonna run up, you're gonna throw, you're gonna backdash, gamma blade. Gamma blade is +5 on block. So we'll go ahead and throw again. You're just gonna practice that, doing that back and forth. If you mess up, you'll get close slash. It's pretty good, it's +2. Chipp's close slash is a handy button. When you get them in the corner, go ahead and do it all over again. You wanna be tight here on the timing of your gamma blade, on the timing of your backdash. Again, this is not necessarily a hard thing to do, but if you mess it up, you're messing up a chance, right? This is a pretty significant advantage. It's kind of low risk. So you want to make sure, oh, see there, I messed up my backdash. So that's generally called FDC, Faultless Defense Cancel. In older Guilty Gears, there were lots of things that were Faultless Defense Cancel. There were infinites that you could do because you could Faultless Defense Cancel grounded buttons. It's hilarious. Shouts to old Guilty Gears. These days, not many attacks are Faultless Defense Cancel. But when they are, sometimes you can do some cool shit with them. So yeah, just keep on practicing this. It's good to practice your run-up throws. It's an important thing to do in Guilty Gear, and if you fuck it up, you might eat shit. So you want to put some work into it. Get him close to the corner, and just gonna do it again. Do one more lap. Keep on going. Keep on throwing that vampire. Make him block the gamma blade. Trip him up. Fuck that guy. You know how much it hurts to get hit by this motherfucker? Oh, a little short, that's okay. One more. Cool. Alright, now they won't always block that Gamma Blade. Sometimes they'll get hit by it. So, hey, what up, Mappuccino? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn block back off, right? Set block settings to none. You're gonna throw Slayer, backdash Gamma, and this time what you're gonna do is far S, 5H, IAD, then you're gonna hit JK, you're gonna let it hit twice, and then you're gonna hit JD. It's gonna look like this. And you're gonna run up and throw, Gamma Blade. Once he's in the corner, go ahead and do it again. You can get it to work off close slash too. It's a little bit less reliable, but we take what we can get. Actually, yeah. We'll keep this up. Now, if you're having problems with the IAD, that's okay. It's kind of tricky. And the reason it's tricky, we went through this yesterday, but the reason it's tricky is because you have to delay the cancel. You have to delay the IAD if you want to cancel out of 5H and be able to continue the combo, right? And the reason is basically that you can jump cancel 5H pretty, you can input the jump cancel for 5H pretty early on in the animation, but you can't input the IAD, the second part, right, of the jump cancel until a little bit later. So you have to let 5D rock for just a little bit, just a heartbeat, just a moment, and then input the IAD. So yeah, if you're having problems with this, let me know. See if we can help you out. But to be honest, this took me a while to get. I practiced this for like weeks. I did this shit on stream. I remember Railman cheering me on when I started getting these combos more often. But they're good. And the reason you want to do this combo, by the way, is because off Gamma Blade, you can't get that much damage usually. So the fact that you get a knockdown after this is pretty good. Hey, what up, Amanda? Good to see you. Thanks for showing love the other day. Right? Normally off Gamma Blade, check this out. If I go for my jump install combo, which works, that's pretty good damage, but I don't get any advantage afterwards, right? If I go for this, let's Slayer regen. I messed up. Enox, we'll let that rock when we're ready to do Slayer. See, damage is still pretty good. It's not the same as the JI combo, but it's pretty good. And I get the knockdown. Right? Now, it's not a great knockdown. I can't use my Faultless defense Oki after this because Slayer gets up too early. But I can do stuff like pressure with meaty Gamma Blade. And if they get hit, then I get to do it all over again. What up, Call Me Daddy? What up, Denim Dad? Good to see ya. So we're gonna keep on practicing this. Just do 1 or 2 more laps. If you're getting it, great. If not, keep trying. That's right. We got all kinds of dads in chat. Shouts to dads. Do 1 more lap. That's what's up, Amanda. We could all use some dreamy vibes. All right. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do something new, right? All that was review if you've been playing in some of these lessons before. But the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do a different combo off 5K, right? So this is good. This is the BMB we've been using. This one's real good if you want the knockdown, right? But sometimes you don't know that this 5K is gonna hit, right? And if you do that combo and end in 2D and they block it, Chipp doesn't really have that much afterwards, right? 2D itself is negative. I can cancel it into a Rekka or a teleport, but neither of these leave me in a very good position, right? And especially against Slayer, if I'm negative, if it's Slayer's turn and I'm in this range, I want to get the fuck out of there. So sometimes I want a little more time to confirm my string. And this combo is nice because, so what we're going to do is just this to start, right? So that's kick, close slash, 5K, CS, far S, 5H. What up, DeChoy? This one's nice because you can hit confirm it, right? If we set the dummy to random block, we know pretty easily whether this is going to hit or not. Right? It's hitting. Oh, okay, it stopped hitting, then we stop, right? Or we choose a different route. So we're going to get to the hit confirming part later, but for now, we're going to set blocking to off, and we're going to do so the way the combo ends, you don't want to end in 5H. 5H isn't that great, right? What we want to do is the same thing that we did with Gamma Blade, which is 5H, IAD, and instead of hitting JK, we're just going to go straight into JD. It looks like this. Ooh. Just like that. Just like with the Gamma Blade, you have to delay the IAD just a little. You want to let that 5H rock. But you can't wait too long or else it won't combo. Again, this is tricky. You don't have that long to do it. It'll take a while to get used to. But the damage is actually pretty good, especially off of 5K. And you get a knockdown, and it's easily confirmable, so it's worth adding to the arsenal. Does this work on short characters too? I forget which characters this doesn't work on. I think there are some. And sometimes it's kind of finicky, because if you'll notice, Guilty Gear gives characters different hit reactions based on how far you are in the combo, and I think the level of the attack too. Right? It might just be the level of the attack. So if you look, when Slayer's getting hit, he's playing kind of a different animation for a lot of the later attack, or for each attack, right? Not always different, but it's that can actually change where you can hit him. Isn't working on Faust? We'll try on Faust real quick. Actually, I think I remember it not working on Faust, so you might have to change. And since the Gatling system is pretty open when it comes to this kind of stuff, if you find that you're pushed out a little too far, you can just go 5K straight into 5H if you want. You don't need the slashes, but the slashes are nice. Yeah, so if they're crouching, then you can go 5H alpha or TK alpha. Does the IAD JD thing cross up even if you're deep in the corner? I don't think it actually crosses up. Whew. And yeah, you can hit confirm off 6P. But the problem with 6P is you want to be careful with how you use that in block strings. Like 6P is solid, especially as a counter poke option. And I have different Gatlings that I use, right? But sometimes you want this particular outcome. And yeah, you can use 6P in this one if you want. It'll work okay. The fact is, there are all kinds of reasons to use Chipp's different Gatlings. There isn't one good Gatling. One thing that I've been doing lately when I play Wabbit, actually, is looking for opportunities to frame trap into 2S, because it'll beat his 2D mash, and then I can usually get a dust afterwards, right? Now 2S it's a solid button, right? But in general, when it comes to Gatlings, you'd much rather be Gatling out of 6P, because 6P gives you a lot more stuff. But with a specific read like that, like fishing for the 2S is nice. You don't need 6P in that. But yeah, you just want to get the hang of IAD. Get the hang of this IAD JD. If you got it, great. Keep doing it. If not, it's all good, homie. Cool. Now that's the other reason, honestly, is that 6P, if you use 6P in this Gatling, you're more likely to be pushed out of range, right? Because 6P is shorter. Yeah, Run God, there's a bunch of that stuff in this playlist, actually. Woo. Oh, my neck. All right, so this is the new part of this particular session, right? And we can keep practicing it, but actually now what we're gonna do is We're going to turn blocking. We're going to set it to random, right? So go ahead and stance standing, block settings, set it to random, block switching enabled, normal block. That's what's up, Run God. We'll see you here soon. And now what you're going to do is you're going to branch based on whether you get a hit or a block. So we'll see what we get first, right? Cool. So on hit, after you hit the JD, I want you to cancel it into 214P. That's the shuriken, right? And the reason I like this combo, there's some you don't always want to do it, but it's nice because you don't get that much off the JD knockdown like that. But if you can get this out, right, then you can use this later, right? You're essentially discarding the slow shuriken, which isn't always that useful, so that you can get a fast one up next, right? That's how Chipp's shurikens work. Slow, so you start slow, then fast, then slow, then fast, then slow, then fast. If they block the string, then what you want to do is the same string, but you IAD backwards. You want to get out of there, and you want to chuck that slow shuriken. I like to do, when I do this, I like to tiger knee the shuriken so that I can kind of float harmlessly away afterwards, right? If you have the fast shuriken on deck already, then in a match you probably wouldn't want to do this. But we're just practicing the confirm right now. And to be and just so you all know, when it's tiger knee, what I'm saying is you end on up back, so you jump back, and then immediately do the shuriken, right? So instead of 214, it's actually 2147. See that? We got the slow shuriken now. If this was a match, I'd have a fast shuriken and I'd be full screen away from my opponent, which is a pretty good place to be because I can just chuck the shuriken. Ooh, I can mess it up. I can chuck the shuriken and then get right back in there, and it's not that easy to defend against. So on block, you're gonna go away. On block, you're gonna go away. We're just gonna keep on doing this. It's fine. And then when we start hitting, you're gonna do the same stuff, but just in the other direction. It's really important as you get better at this game to choose your attack routes based on what the opponent is doing, right? If they got hit or if they blocked, you want to be doing different things. Ooh, you messed up like that. You want to be doing different things, right? It's very rare that your optimal on hit string is also your optimal on block string. And so you want to get a sense for where your Gatlings branch. And you want to get a sense for how long you need to confirm whether it hit or not. Oh. And yeah, it's not going to be perfect every time. That's okay. Let's get used to it. This is neat because now we're learning how to bail safely on a pressure string. That wasn't really working out for us, right? And this isn't the only option, right? You have many options, right? And we'll get you there, but it'll take time. It'll take practice. And yeah, shouts to Deep Left and Bot. Just get a couple more reps in. Chuck those shurikens. Just get used to discarding them. These are a very valuable tool for Chipp. If you think about it, this is almost as valuable as a wire C Gamma Blade, right? It's really hard to get around the fast shuriken when he's trying to approach. Leffen did indeed play a little bit of this game. He streamed it one day and he rated us afterwards. It was pretty cool. We got Toph playing this too. Matter of fact, I need to remind that dude to enter tomorrow. He said he would. I think there's some pretty good crossover between Smash and Guilty Gear, to be honest. Now I'm just autopiloting. But yeah. So, when you get used to this string, set the dummy to random block that is, and then get some practice changing your route on hit or on block. All the Fox players pick Johnny. That's funny. When I played Melee, I played Fox. I think Fox might be. I didn't play him well, mind you, but I think that Fox might be one of the few characters in fighting games that I think is as fun as, if not possibly even more fun than Chipp. But yeah, we're just getting here. We're just putting some time in. If you play Fox and fam, Star Fox. So I played plenty of the original SNES Star Fox, but Star Fox 64 was my first game for my N64. And you know, when you got a new console back in the day, you didn't have no money afterwards. I didn't get to buy another game for like 3 months, and that actually wasn't even that bad. I was only playing Star Fox 64 on my N64 for months. There isn't really months worth of shit to do in that game. I think I got all the medals, I unlocked all this shit, you get the sunglasses, whatever. The second game I got was Turok, and that shit fucking sucked. Also, they say some fucked up shit. Pigmus's daddy screamed real good before he died. What the fuck? Yeah, Turok was ass. Anyway, enough about Turok. We got our strings. We're practicing our IADs. We practiced a whole bunch of Chipp stuff. I hope that Bonjourn, I swear to God, Bonjourn. Anyway, I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something new. I've said this before, but just getting your hands used to what another character does, even if you have no intention of playing Chipp, is good for you. It's good for your execution, right? The fact is that you're gonna have to learn, if you want to play fighting games, you're gonna have to learn how to teach, or how to teach your hands how to do all kinds of different things. So practice everything. Doesn't